For my millions and billions of fans, can you please introduce yourself?
Yo, this is Greybeard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have fucking Greybeard here. Yes. And so, I want to start. I want to make sure I go back before we go forward and before we get to who Greybeard is now, right? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of building, a lot of growth, a lot of learning, mistakes, I'm sure, to get to the point you're at. So let me start off by saying that I made a mistake in my research. I made a mistake, and I thought this guy did rap music and bluegrass and metal and all this stuff. So I'm like, yo, is he playing all this like instruments, and like, where is he at? But it's actually strictly hip hop. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just reevaluate, and we're gonna go back. What part of Colorado are you from? Can you tell me that?
Well, I mean, I moved out to Colorado in 2002. I moved to Denver.
Okay.
So originally, I'm from Los Angeles.
What part of LA you're from?
From the Valley, North Valley, Sylmar.
And can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I've never even been. This is the furthest west I've ever been. Yeah, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I went to Cleveland once. That's dope.
Yeah, did you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I see you'd fit in. You definitely fit in.
A lot of old buildings and shit. And there's that guy that's sitting in the chair, and I jumped up on him and sat on his lap.
Downtown?
Yeah, downtown.
Yeah, we got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and
all kinds of cool shit up there.
Yeah, man. A lot of beer too.
But yeah, so LA is like the basin, and then the valley is kind of through the mountains up towards the north. LA City's pretty big. The county's even bigger. But like the very northern part of LA City is pretty much Sylmar, and that's where
Sylmar.
I pretty much grew up. I was born in Torrance. I lived in Gardena for a little bit, and then we moved out to Sylmar. And
then so growing up in LA, what are some things that you saw? What kind of neighborhood was that? Was that middle class? Was it nicer? Was it in between? Like, what was the vibe from where you grew up as a child?
So yeah, when we got there, it was mid-70s, I guess. Mm-hmm. I was very little, and at that point, it was a bunch of white people and horses, because Sylmar and Chatsworth are the only two cities within Los Angeles that you can have horses.
Really?
So yeah.
So a bunch of people just riding horses?
Yeah, it was a bunch of horses.
Can you ride a horse?
I have a couple times.
Yeah, okay.
Because, I mean, everyone on my block, I mean, not everyone, but a lot of people had horses. It was just weird. It was, like, normal.
Yeah.
But then, the 80s came, and crack came, and all the white people moved out. We had a big influx of, like, Mexican people, like immigrants and stuff like that. There was always gangs in that part of the city, because there's a city right next to Sylmar called San Fernando. And they are known for their gangs since
San Fernando.
Way back.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, when I graduated from high school in 1990, there was a lot of crack, there was a lot of gangsters, and a lot of crazy shit popping off. So yeah, I saw a lot of crazy shit. I mean, the cops that patrolled our neighborhood was the Foothill Division, and those are the dudes that beat up Rodney King.
Oh shit.
So I mean, I've been beat up by those dudes.
Oh no.
There's just a lot of crazy shit popped off. And then 1998, I had my first kid. And my wife at the time, her parents lived out here in Denver, and we came out and visited, and I was just blown away because it was so clean.
Yo, that was the first thing when I came to visit here, because I've been here a couple of times before I actually moved. That was the first thing I noticed. Driving around, or I'm getting Ubered around or whatever, and I told my girlfriend, I'm like, yo, it's like, I don't see any trash on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, at all. you know, and like.
And people are like nice here, like it's different because like people look you in the eyes when you walk down the street and say what's up, you know, and you don't even know them.
Well,
Like
I figure everyone's real Hollywood where you're from, or
yeah,
at least they want to
in LA,
be.
you don't look people in the eyes, man, unless you're trying to bang on them or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you just kind of float by. But like here, they're like they'll catch your eye and be like, hey, and
Yeah, what's going on?
It used to freak me the fuck out when people used to touch me. I'm like, what? Like, I don't
What's your
even
problem,
fucking
bro?
know
What's your
you.
problem?
Yeah,
What's
like,
your problem? You know me, bro?
it was like culture shock, man. But nah, I saw it here, and I had another kid in 2001,
Nice.
and you know, the kids out in Sylmar, it's pretty normal to be like pregnant by the time you're in high school, and you know, be in a gang and have a face tattoo, you know, by the time you get out of high school. So
Were people ever pressing you when you were younger to
What's
join?
that?
Were people ever pressing you to join something like that, or?
No, I wasn't really like at that point. Like pretty much like your parents or someone in your family had to be in it.
Okay.
And then like in the 80s they did start branching out and like asking people to get in. But at that point I was so like hip hop and heavy metal that I didn't look like them. They weren't really fucking with me because I just didn't look like that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, until like I got out of high school and then I started wearing Dickies and you know flannels and all that shit, you know. But yeah, during high school I was just like a fucking dork, so they didn't really fuck with me.
They didn't want to recruit you. Huh?
Yeah.
Like, nah, he ain't got it.
Yeah,
Man.
like nah.
He doesn't have the skills we need.
Yeah.
Little did they know. You had some MC skills, right? And so you said you moved here when again? I'm sorry.
2002.
2002. And at that point, how old were you? Ish.
I was exactly 30.
Exactly 30. So before that, did you start rapping or doing music in LA, or did you move out here and you just felt like super motivated for some reason? You're like, you know what, man, I'm about to get to it.
Nah, I've been doing this since, you know, I've been writing rhymes since high school. And then once I got out of high school, because I went to private schools my whole life, and I always wanted to be in public schools, you know, and like hang out with like real people.
Yeah.
You know, but little did I know, I mean, the people that were in private school were like drug dealers' kids. People that got kicked out of public schools and couldn't go anywhere else, you know. So I was really with some real fucking people, but I didn't realize that. But, you know, I got out and I just kind of fucking hit the streets, man. Just wanted to be a part of like everything that was going on in LA at that time, you know. And I rode the bus everywhere, you know, and I fucking got down like that, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was just a trip, man. Just growing up out there.
Yeah, man.
It was crazy, man.
Sunny shit. Super sunny out there. Do you think so when you were in high school, did you have your first stage name when you were younger? Do you remember what it was?
The first one was King Rock B.
King Rock B.
Yeah.
Now that's some golden age shit.
Yeah,
for sure,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you could tell like I was listening to the Beastie Boys at the time.
Yeah, man. So in those days when you first started, the Beastie Boys were hot.
Yeah.
Who else was like really doing it right
Man,
there?
it was like LL Cool J, Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, like
Yeah.
late '80s shit, like UTFO, you know.
I'm not even hip to UTFO.
Oh, you know that song Roxanne, Roxanne?
Oh yes, I did.
That's
That's
UTFO.
UTFO. Okay,
Yeah.
then I do know this. Yeah, it's NWA is more '90s, right? Or is that late '80s?
Like
as well?
late '80s, yeah, because that was about the time, like late '80s, like '88, '89, like when all that DOC, fucking NWA's first album, Eazy-E, all that shit was coming out. And all that, the 2 Live crew was getting crazy back then too. Like that was a big thing.
It.
Yeah.
So did you? What do you think? Influenced you to start to get going? Was it a song? Was it maybe some of the kids you were hanging out with and you saw somebody rapped a little bit? Like what really made you think that, hey, maybe I should put this pen to the paper and rhyme some shit?
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
When breaking came out, I was in like 6th, 7th grade or some shit like that, and people started breaking, and I fucking loved that shit.
Yeah.
And I got deep into breaking, man. Like I was like a break dancer.
Yeah.
And then so you listening to all that hip hop, and I had always written poems and written songs and listened to music, so it was just kind of like a natural thing for me to try to rap, I think it was just natural.
Did you in that day were you able to get, how do you get the beats back then? Did you have to actually go to the DJ? Because it's not like you can just go like, even as I'm 30, and even when I was younger, you could go to like early internet, like MySpace days. You can go to a place called like SoundClick or stuff like that, and you could find beats, and that was almost frustrating at that point.
Yeah.
So I imagine a decade prior to that, it had to. Was it difficult, or did like?
Well, in like
you go?
high school, you would just like write rhymes, put them on paper and like battle with each other.
Yeah. Acapella.
And then I got out of high school in 1990, and I bought a drum machine, and I was going out with this girl, and we broke up, and I kept her keyboard that I had borrowed from her. So I had a keyboard and a drum machine.
Greybeard gives no fucks. He's a family man now, but he didn't give a fuck before, right? Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
But yeah, I mean, I had the keyboard and the drum machine. I was just like, fuck it, because yeah, like you said, like I don't know where I would have gone to get, because you would have like instrumentals on the backside of 12-inch singles and stuff like that. Like you could rap over that. Okay. But that's like somebody else's shit, like. So I don't know. I always just was like, fuck it, I'll just make my own shit. I've always been like that. I had a 4-track recorder and a drum machine and a keyboard, and I just fucking started making music.
So when you started making music early, was it still as hip hop as it is now, as your music is currently?
Yeah.
Has it changed at all? Or is it like you've been pretty focused on keeping it, killer MC, competitive?
Yeah.
I'm trying to bite your head off, respectively.
When I started, I was a big fan of like Boogie Down Productions.
Oh yes.
And so like KRS-One was like a big fucking deal to me.
Yeah.
And so that's like basically where I came from, like from that kind of perspective of just like, I just want to smash you, when I get on the mic, and wanted to battle everybody, and my crew at that time, Black Mist Beats, we would just sit around and play chess and freestyle and smoke weed like all day. Like that's what we did, like.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's, it was just our fucking lifestyle. Like that's how we lived, you know. And all those dudes, I left them behind in LA, but one of the dudes from our crew, TRT, actually got picked up by Soul Assassins, and was a big part of Soul Assassins. And if you ever listen to Be Real's podcast, he always mentions him, Jay Turner.
Yeah, Be Real.
So I mean, that was like when I found out that he was doing that, I was like, holy shit, like I could make this, like, for real. Like I could fucking do this, man. Yeah. So but he got killed, I think, like a year or two ago, man.
Oh no. R.I.P.
So yeah, rest in peace, man.
R.I.P. to that guy. So what do you think, did you battle a lot of people coming up? Because this is I'm used to, most of the people I interview are younger than me, so they're more on the new age shit. I have friends that actually like rap, rap hip hop, and try to be a lyricist. But for the most part, it's more the poppier, the new age sound and stuff. So they don't want to battle. They don't want to freestyle. They don't want to do none of that stuff, which is fine. I get it. They freestyle some of their songs, like punch in, every other bar.
Right.
And it's more fun, But did you battle a lot of people? Do you remember your record? Are you up? Are you up or are you down? Are you up or are you down?
You know what? We didn't really go out and like battle other crews and shit like that. Like, because I was, to be honest with you, I don't really fuck with freestyling anymore. I feel like it's like a young kid's game. And at this point, I want to be sure that I know exactly what's coming out my mouth. Because if I'm freestyling, who knows what the fuck I'm gonna say?
Right. Especially if you're just kind of keep going.
Yeah. So it's kind of dangerous in these days, for me to fucking be freestyling. I'm probably gonna offend someone or something. But like back then, I mean, it was a thing, and there was dudes in our crew that could fucking destroy anybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I could write a mean verse, but freestyling, I could get down, but I'm not gonna win any battles. You know what I'm saying?
No, you
I'm
think
not
so?
that dude. But yeah, I mean, I would never back down to that shit. Like if somebody did want to battle, we go at it. Like it's all good. Like that's hip hop. Like I just always love the whole culture of this shit. Like,
Yeah.
Everything about it.
And okay, and so now that we're naming some older artists, right? A lot of pioneers, we should call them, respectfully. Who was at the coldest? Who was at the coldest to you? Like when you were late teens, early 20s, when you guys were really getting it. You had your crew. Like who was really like, because at that point it wasn't the internet, it was word of mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
We
It
were
was
still
word of
buying
mouth.
cassette tapes and CDs.
Tapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To borrow that shit. I remember, I remember there's a couple tricks you could do to like copy tapes, I believe. I'm a little young, but I remember that they had
Or tape
ways.
a CD.
Yeah, they had ways to do that. Who was it? Was LL on top the most, or because this is West Coast shit,
Yeah, so I mean, it just depends, like what era you're talking about, like late '80s, early '90s. It's all like all that LL Cool J, Beastie Boys, Run DMC shit.
They was on top.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Like East Coast shit, because West Coast didn't really. I mean, we had Ice-T, which like his first album is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Especially back then, like there just wasn't, no one was saying shit like that.
That gangster shit.
Yeah, and then NWA came out, and then DOC, and all that shit just came out. So, and then once that kind of balanced everything out, and we were always down with like East Coast sound. Like my dudes in my crew were down with Wu-Tang before like I was, like they were like listening to it, and I'd be like, nah, it's okay, I didn't really get it. They were like, no, this is the shit, this is the shit. I was like, nah, it's okay, dude. Like, and then a couple years later, it finally fucking got to me, and I was like, holy shit, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck was wrong with me.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe some of the hype maybe turns you off when a lot of people, because I know personally, like, when a lot of people like something really quick, and I don't quite know about it yet, I'm like, it's basic shit.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I thought, like, all the karate shit was cool. But then, yeah, kind of, because Wu-Tang, like, back then, like, I remember the first time I heard the Purple Tape, the Rakim, his first, Raekwon, his first album.
Raekwon's sick.
Was it Only Cuban Links or whatever?
Cuban Link legend.
I had to listen to that tape like 7 times before I fucking understood like what the fuck was going on.
Yes, Raekwon throws a lot of frisbees, man, and it's like,
man.
it's hard to catch them. It's hard to catch them. Maybe listen to the song. Yo, I 100% agree with you. I'm glad you say that. I think he's an argument. If we're really arguing about like greatest lyricists ever, I think he's really up there. I feel like it's debatable because it's not confusing because it's written poorly. It's hard to hear because he speaks his own language.
Yeah, he's got slang.
And I'm like, what?
Him and Ghostface, like, and Meth, like, and RZA, dude, like the whole
super
fucking,
group, man.
like, all those dudes are like high-powered MCs, dude. Like, you can't fuck with them, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's why they're stamped,
Yeah. I mean that whole crew. Like, I just watched that fucking Wu-Tang documentary, man. That shit is. The way they came up and where they're from, dude, just like, I got major respect for that.
It's just
whole
solid,
fucking
right?
Plan, man, yeah.
So, you're coming up, we have these powerhouse groups and legendary MCs that everybody still knows to this day. And hip hop, with the exception of like some of this stuff like EDM or maybe like hyper pop and like some stuff, it's still pretty young. It's a very young genre. When people say that hip hop is, or rap is, a young man's game, how do you feel about that? Like, what do you think? Do you think that's biased? Do you think?
I think if you are listening to the radio, that is a fucking 100% correct statement. Because that is a young man's game. They're not gonna fucking play me on no radio station ever, bro. But I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm
fuck
saying?
that.
Like that's not my goal. You know. But yeah, I think if you're talking about radio and all, like you want to. You know, you want to play that record company game or whatever.
Yeah.
You gotta be young. Like that's just what they're pushing. It's like I don't know if they're on some satanic shit or whatever, dude. But they ain't fucking with old people, you know.
They at least playing with it. They at least.
Yeah, I
with
don't.
some
You
of
know,
that
I
stuff.
don't know what goes on with all that shit. But I'm not fucking with it, so I don't give a fuck. You know.
You know, and it's so I asked you that, and that's a great answer because a lot of people tell me that they like to say that, and I really think about it, and I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Well, that's.
Or is it easier? Or is it easier to rip off somebody who's 20? You know, if I'm 20 and I'm, you know, I didn't go to school, I'm having trouble, I hate my job, and I'm making music, I'm spending all my money trying to put this music out. If you run up on me and you're like, hey, we can get you the blue check next to your names, and I'll give you 20 bands right now, and you can come sign with us, and we'll do whatever we gotta do.
Right.
Like, you're probably gonna take this
And they
shit.
own your merch, your fucking concerts.
Yeah, they got you in this
everything.
crazy 360 where they're taking like more than half your shit,
Right.
you know, and you don't see it till later.
Yep.
And they can't do that to someone like you. They can't do that to someone like me. Because
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I mean,
read what's in front of them. I'm like, no,
It's not
bro.
gonna
Like,
work, yeah.
like $20,000 for that I have to give back. So I'm giving you back like 22, you know, 23. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit, you know, like. So that's why I feel like it's not. Too many young people are getting fucked for it to be a young man's game.
But it's always been like that. I mean, even when it's like Motown and shit, like those people didn't get paid for shit, man. You know, like it's always been like that. And that's just I would imagine that if I was a record company, that's exactly how I fucking want to keep it too.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy to flip the young product. They're more it's like when you have a bad boss at a job and they don't give out raises, but they bring you pizza. Like they bring you food and shit because you know you're hungry, you know, you're like, oh, this is great. But in the meantime they're like, yo, I just saved so much money.
Yeah.
I should be paying you a couple extra more dollars, but let me go ahead and get you some pizza or like some snacks every once in a while. Like I kinda seems like that. Yeah. Have you had the opportunity to, you know, have managers? Or I know one of your songs you said like they're looking for my manager, turn around, my manager is me. Some shit like that. Has it always been like that, or have you been able to work with any kind of labels, independent labels, or management?
I mean, every time I fucked with labels or like knew someone that was signed to a label, it was always like, that's just like, I'm not down with that. Because like if you're at my level and like you know somebody that's signed, like that dude's probably getting fucked, right?
Yeah.
And like he probably got paid like one time, and now he owes this fucking record company a gang of money, and like he's trying to figure out how to get pop, like the quickest way to like have everybody listen to their song, dude. And when you're coming at music from that direction, your music's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck ass.
Yeah, because you're just following because there's no way to follow a trend and be successful. It's like trying to buy stock, you know, like. Unless you know beforehand, you're just fucked and you're just following the game.
Yeah, you're always behind at that point if you're just trying to like figure out how to do the wave, like move on the wave. Okay, so you're coming up, you move out here. How many projects did you do before coming out here? Because you're still active.
Yeah.
What was your first album? Could you tell me? Because
my first album was it was called War in '94. I put it out in '94. I just made a bunch of cassette tapes and handed them out to whoever would fucking open their hand.
Where were you? Yeah, where were you? Were you just driving around LA? Like,
yeah, I mean, I worked in Hollywood at that point, so. Everybody's in a band in Hollywood, and everybody's an actor.
Everybody wants to, yeah.
So, I pass it out to everybody, and hope for the best or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was putting out a tape every year, pretty much.
Hell yeah.
And then we moved to CDs once that technology hit us, and we were able to actually burn CDs.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it was, man. It sounds lame now, but man, to be able to burn your own CD was like to be able to like make your own record.
Right. You're like executive producer at that point.
Yeah. So I remember me and my friend Chris LaRock, we ordered a CD burner off like from Guitar Center, like by mail, and it came and we burned like 300 CDs and sent it back and got a refund.
It's a good little scheme there, my man. So do you have if I was somebody who was like, yo, I want you to give me your favorite song of yours that I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push one song for you. Don't worry about all this young man game stuff. Don't worry about the clout, because there is an audience for everybody, I believe. What would be that one song out of your whole catalog, your favorite song? I know there's a lot of pressure to have you go through all your songs over a decade and to pick one. But what do you think is like, or you can pick a couple too, a couple or one song where you like really feel like you just like killed it? Because I have a couple songs on here like Hip Hop and Big Spliffs. I think that one was like huge, and then I wrote down some of those bands, so I'm not gonna. I'm gonna cross that stuff out, but like stuff like that, you know, like what do you think really like? When you really just showed off, like you. Really,
I mean, all right. So really, I got like I got 2 albums and 1 EP out, really.
Okay.
All right, that you can like stream. So if we took, and that's really my best shit. Like to go before then, I'm like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. That makes sense. So Blunderbuss is one of them, right?
Blunderbuss. I would do the Chef Soul song on there. Everybody's Sad Story. That's a good song. And then you go to the Gloomy Gray EP.
Yes.
There's a song on there called Just Like That. I like that. That's a good one. And then off my latest album, man, fuck.
Because I fucked with I like the intro to the Gloomy a lot.
Oh,
that was hot. That was hot. And then the last one's the ICBM, yes?
ICBM.
What's ICBM stand for?
It's an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Nice.
You know,
Straight
I came
on
out
attack.
with the blunderbuss, you know, which is like it's like a little short shotgun that'll fuck you quick.
Yeah.
And then I figured I had to come bigger this time. So I'm sending missiles. You know?
That's quite the difference between the blunderbuss. Pretty sure you had to stuff the blunderbuss with the fucking powder and shit.
Yeah.
Now
Like
you
some
got
old shit. It might
nuclear
fucking
weapons.
blow your face off too. Like.
Then pellets and shit.
But yeah, I mean,
sorry,
off
yeah,
that, I mean, it would probably be Project X, the fucking, the song I have a video out for right now.
Yeah. You got some videos and you got some performances online as well. I like What You Gonna Do. It's a really good one.
It's a good one.
Made me like think. I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? You know? So you have those projects and stuff. Are you now? How has this pandemic affected you artistically? Do you feel like it's motivated you because you've been, you know, in the house more? Has it made things difficult as far as writing because you're not as able to experience as much? What do you think? Has it affected you at all?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, 2020, I probably did, like, 30, 40 shows, right?
Yeah, nice.
Or what'd I say? I mean,
2019?
2019.
Mm-hmm.
I probably did 30, 40 shows. 2020, I probably did 10, maybe. So that was a big fucking difference for me. Like, I'm used to going out on the weekends and hugging everybody and getting in a fucking crowd and sweating and screaming and throwing my hands in the air, you know, all that crazy shit. So that was a big change for me, man. But like as far as like creatively, like I feel like it like came and went in waves. Cause sometimes, cause like you're right, dude. Like in order to write like good shit, you have to go out and have experiences, so you have like something to write about.
Yeah, what are you
fucking agree with that 100%, man.
Yeah, that's because you're actually putting effort into your rhymes.
Yeah.
So I have to assume it's like, you know, rap about like being in the house with your kids. You know, like I don't know, man. Like
that's like
a whole album of that might be a little stressful.
I was blessed to be able to talk to Murs for an hour.
Murs, yeah. Murs is cool.
He's a
the
cool
L.
motherfucker. Oh my
A.
God.
California A hot
He's
song.
one of the dopest dudes out there. He's like super cool. But like that's what he was saying. Like, well, you know, you're a dad. You know, like write songs about being a dad. Like, I can't do that, man. Like, I could do it if it's like if I come at it like at a real good angle, like a real good concept of it. I could do that. But like to just be like, yeah, I'm a dad. It just seems kind of fucking lame. And like,
I'm
who
sure
wants
it's
to
more
go
of a
to a
creative
show
way.
and hear a song about how good a dad I am or whatever? Like, I don't know. I'd have to find some like cool angle to come at it with.
Yeah. Yeah, you could probably tell some kind of story, with some kind of morals, as far as, you know, a parenting choice, maybe like, you know, having to check yourself from doing some shit, just like, you know, maybe your kid got bullied, you know what I mean? You'd be like, all right, let me just relax, like, that's what kids do, I don't know.
It would have to be like maybe
something funny as well, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
Well, so you've been in CO for a while now. How do you feel about the CO music scene? Because I've only been here since I've been here since July, so it's been pandemic mode the whole time I've been here. So I really haven't been able to experience.
That must be a trip. Oh my
right?
God.
Hey, I drove out here, 20-hour drive, and stayed in Boulder for a little bit, and then now we're out here, and I'm probably gonna move more towards Denver after this lease. But I haven't been able to go to like any shows. I've been out a little bit, but every time I go to downtown, it's like a ghost town, you know, like there might be like one guy at the bar, you know, so there's not much going on. Like,
that's a trip.
You know, you can only have 2 or 3 or 6 people in the record shop right now, like, so it's not, you know, so, but prior to that, and from what you know, like, what do you think? What do you think about this music scene in this state, man?
Man, all right, so I moved out here in 2002, right? So, in like 2005, 2006, I put out a CD. Yeah. And like I wanted to do shit out here, right? There wasn't shit, man. There was like a couple places. The White House, you could do a show. The Snake Pit, which is now your mom's house.
Oh yeah,
You could do shows there. But like pretty much it was like everybody in the scene hated each other and didn't want to fuck with you. And it was just weird. So I was like, fuck it. So I just laid low, man. And then like, 3 years ago?
Yes.
I started fucking around with it again. And now it's completely different. I mean, now there's places to perform. People aren't total dicks all the time, which is nice. Like,
is nice.
There's a good, solid group of people out in that scene that will like help you out and like just really cool people, you know? Like there's some really cool people out here, and it's not just like in 06, 07, you know, whatever, it was like crabs in the bucket type thing. You know, you always hear that about Denver, like crabs in the bucket, crabs in the bucket. And now it's more like, and I mean, I honestly won't fuck with you if you're like that. Like, I'm not fucking with you. Like, I want to be around people who like, if I want you to feature on my song and you want $100 from me, like, that's maybe. I feel like, to me, like, you're gonna let $100, which ain't really shit, like stop momentum, man. I'm not really down with that. I'm like, I'm gonna help everybody out that I can. Like, I'm not asking people for fucking ridiculous amounts of money to get on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that, man. I want to build the scene up. I want it to be an atmosphere of like helping each other out, man. Where we can, you got a question, like I answer questions from young cats all the time. You know, like, what should I do? How do I do this or whatever? Like, I'm always down to answer questions. I'm always down to fucking drop a verse on somebody's rhyme, dude. That song's all over this fucking city, you know? So like, that's just my mindset is like, I'm gonna do as much work as I can while I'm doing this, and I'm gonna leave a fucking bunch of fucking jewels, you know? And my kids are gonna be able to listen to that shit, you know? Like, that's all. That's like, I'm in it for the culture. And like, if I am at some point able to make a fucking gang of money off this and retire, that's my goal. I want to retire doing this shit. And then act like you're gonna stop rapping and then keep rapping. Exactly. You know, I'm done, bro. And then boom, an album next year. You know, that's how they do, man. Yeah, no, I'd be more like, I'd be more like, I'd rather help like some young cats, you know?
Yeah.
Like, or not even young, just like someone that's fucking good that's not getting shine, dude. Because those dudes are all over this city, man.
Yeah.
They're all over this fucking city.
Yeah, Denver and Colorado they don't really get too much attention from music from what I've seen so far.
No.
And I get it. There's a lot of like beautiful shit here, and you know, people don't really. It's not like you said, Hollywood or LA or East Coast New York. It's not like or Texas. It's not like, yo, I'm going to Denver because I'm about to pop off in music.
Right.
It's usually like, I'm going to Denver,
everyone moves from here. They're like, I'm going to LA. Like, I'm always like, dude, you're gonna be back in like 3 months, man. Cause like that's the thing. That's actually what I love about out here. It's like when you're in a scene like LA or New York, you're dealing with fucking like big dudes like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg type dudes. They're not giving up shit. Yeah. Sorry, and they're holding a lot. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving up nothing. So you're never like, unless you fucking know someone or unless you're just incredibly like you're God on the mic, dude, like good luck. Yeah. You're just another fucking MC in a giant fucking tank, dude. Yeah. And like, that's what I like about here. Like, really, if you're talking about big MCs out here, I mean, you're talking about like AP and Top Flight Empire, you know, shit like that. Like, I know those dudes, you know, like those are cool dudes. Like I've talked to them and they're fucking super cool. So
yeah, that's all I hear about them. And even like their social medias and stuff, which it's just social media, but they always like on some like positive shit. Like they got their bars where they say something crazy, but they seem very open and inviting, and that's the vibe. That's the vibe I get, and that's good. I don't think that's the case at all where I'm from. Everybody kind of like. Everyone it's very passive aggressive, you know, especially with the rap scene. Like everybody acts like they support that person. They're like, oh no, that sounds great. Like they'll never give you constructive criticism, but then when you're gone, you know, like, oh, that guy's a bum, or like that's just trash or whatever, you know. I don't ever feel that here, but I also haven't been able to go out.
I'm sure it happens.
You know, it has. It has to.
But like I don't hang out with motherfuckers like that, man.
Yeah, you're grown, man. You don't got time for that shit. You know, I'm getting over it too. You know, started to go bed early and shit. You know, so I saw you. You had a birthday like a week ago, I think. Yeah. About happy birthday, belated birthday. And you did a show, like a little showcase with you and like a couple other people, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How did that go for you? I saw some of the video. It looked cool. Look, you had a good time, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was down at Bar Red. And my dude Status, who owns Bar Red, is one of the coolest motherfuckers in the city. And he has a hip hop night there every month, man. And like, he's been doing it through
hip hop night
through the pandemic and everything.
Bar Red.
Bar Red, yeah.
Bar Red hip hop night once a month, man.
Yeah.
You need to fucking know that.
Yeah.
Keep going. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, it's just his monthly show, and I happen to be right near my birthday.
Yeah.
It was Tony T was there as well. He got the same birthday as me. Just, you know, he's just not gonna tell everybody like I am.
Yeah.
Because he's a humble ass cat. But yeah, I mean, it was dope. I mean, it was Tony T, 80 Spades, Kukui, 5280. All these dudes are fucking dope MCs and super cool, man. So.
Do you ever think that maybe all you guys could get together and do like a group tape? Obviously, you're not in a group, right, but you guys do similar things on the mic. I'm personally, I love the posse tapes. I love the posse tapes. I love when people are on the same like little record label and they're just having fun. They're not fucking worried about, we gotta get this fucking single because whatever deadlines. It's just 6 people who all like the rap, and there's 3 on one song, 2 on one song. Someone's got a single here. Everyone's got a solo song, and like a tape like that. Would you ever be open to doing something like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's that shit.
I'm down for that. That sounds like fun.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing. I only got to saw clips of the performance from online, but like I could just imagine that, like that show in mixtape form. Right. You know? Yeah. And it sounds like a really cool idea. I hope you guys can get together because guys are more mature. I think you're not beefing like the young cats, man, and really work together and get some shit going, man.
That might be a good idea, man. Because I mean, really, everybody could just like put in a song.
Yeah.
That's already done. You know what I'm saying? We could make an album.
Yeah.
Like super easy.
Really quick.
Not a bad
really
idea.
quick. You know.
Yeah.
And it kind of fucked people up a little bit. They're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Good idea.
What's going on? You know what I mean? I'm full of them. So why Greybeard? Why is the name Greybeard? I know it changed a couple times from the first name you told me. Why have you settled on Greybeard? Your beard is gray.
It is gray.
Yes, but I'm sure there's a little more to that, maybe.
So like we said, like I started out as King Rock B, right?
Yeah.
And then I went to Kid Larceny.
Kid Larceny.
When I was in high school, and then I got out of high school, and I just went by Larceny. And then I was like, I don't want to be named after a crime anymore. So then I went to LAR, and I was LAR when I got to Denver. I was LAR till I was Greybeard. So for a long time. But basically, Greybeard, my homeboy Yeti Slang. We used to do a lot of songs together. He lives down in Colorado Springs now. He's a great artist.
Nice.
But he also raps.
Nice.
And he's super good. He's a freestyle dude. He used to battle motherfuckers. Like, I used to love to watch him because he could fuck people up. But what the fuck was I talking about?
How it actually became Greybeard.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he used to come over, and I didn't used to grow my beard out this long, but I'd always have it like kind of.
Yeah. Little stubble.
And it started turning gray, and he'd always fuck with me when he'd come over. Hey, Greybeard, fuck with me. And then like 3 years ago when I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna try again. I knew that I didn't want to be LAR anymore. And I always figure, I went by the Eminem thing, where it's like, I'm going to pick the fucking first thing that anyone's going to say to me, like,
yeah.
Greybeard,
Like sure.
Just take that and fucking own it. So,
yeah. I like that.
There you go.
Well, so what's next? What's next for Greybeard? I'm assuming things should be, people are getting those shots, they're getting their zombie shots and shit, so I think everything's going to be good by the summer, man, unless they start running out.
I don't know, it all depends on that. I love doing shows, I love getting out and being with people, and that's my shit. Like, I love being like an MC and fucking with the crowd. But yeah, in the meantime, my album dropped at the end of October last year. I've been doing, at this point, I'm just doing collaborations with people like all over the fucking place.
Just whoever's got skill.
Like Fat Track just came out with the tape, I think a week ago. I got a song on there called Fuck You Greybeard. So that's dope, and that's a good ass song. We're supposed to shoot a video for that.
Oh, word.
Got a posse cut. Like you were saying, a posse cut.
Yeah.
That we're supposed to shoot a video for tomorrow.
Hey.
And I'm always like, like posse cuts and all that. Like, it's like trying to herd cats, man. Like, artists are hard to pin down sometimes.
They are. When they're in the mood, they'll do it, but they just might not be in the mood.
That's why I'm always like, that's why I'm not a part of like a crew, or I'm not a group or anything, because I like to get shit done, dude. And like, I hate waiting on people. So that's why I'm always like, I'll do collaborations and shit. And like, I'm in a group with 80 Spades called Pirate versus Ninja.
Yeah.
And we got some songs out. So it's like, and that's just like an open project, when we feel like you've putting a fucking song out again, we'll do it, and it's always open. Like, that's what I love, shit like that. Like, me and 80 Spades are always going to put songs out. Me and Just MC, like, we're always going to work together. Like, Chef Soul, Gloomy Sunday, like, there's a bunch of dudes. Like, I got this fucking, like, this group of people that I know about, because I've gone through all this city, man. I've gone to events. I've been accused that there's two of me because I'm at every fucking event, But like, and you find out who's cool and who's real and who's full of shit, real quick. So, I like, I got this little fucking like tight little I wouldn't say we're a crew, because for me to say that we're a crew, like they'd be like, bro, we are. Like,
I didn't
but
know.
like, you know, like those are
What's
my
the
people,
name?
man,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
fuck with them like big time, man. Like they're like super talented people. They're not full of shit. You know what I'm saying? If they say they're gonna do something, they'll do it, dude. And that's like, that's who I want around me. Like, and I've been blessed enough to find people like that. You know.
And that's wonderful. And that probably makes good music
Yeah.
from stuff like that, right?
I mean, you know, I listen to my album, man. Like, the ICM is a fucking classic fucking hip hop album. Like, I could say that, dude, and not even like feel like I'm trying to fucking blow one over on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Go listen to that shit, because it's fucking classic as fuck, dude. Like, I hold that album up to like some Gangstar shit, you know?
Ooh, Gangstar, yes.
Like,
you bring me back. I love all these.
Like,
love all these.
It's like classic shit. And that's like why I don't put out a fucking song every week, and I don't have like 20 albums out, because I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm leaving behind jewels, dude, like gems, dude. Like,
yeah.
And I want my kids to, and their kids and whoever, you know, like ever knew about me, you know, at that point, like I want to leave a fucking legend behind, dude.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's my goal. Like, and I want to retire off this bitch if that's possible. I'm gonna do that.
I think it is. I think you make the right connections, and you can't. I think lyrics are definitely coming back too. I think it was really all about. It started off with like breaking, right? And I remember I saw a DJ Vlad interview with Kid and Play. What? I think the light skinned guy's Kid.
Yeah, Kid.
Kid, yeah. And he was
that.
talking about it. He's like, I blame gangster rap. He's like, because we were all dancing and having a good time. And then the gangster rap came out and they're like, oh, you're pussy if you dance or whatever. He's like, it stopped. And now everyone's like killing each other. And like, they don't even care about lyrics as much. And it like totally changed. And that definitely is true. Yep. But I see it coming back. There's a lot of guys now, even the younger like kids I talk to now, if I name someone like, you know, like Lil Pump or like, you know, fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine before he did what he did and stuff like that, they're not even down with that. They're like, no, I don't like that shit. They're like, I don't like that shit. I was like, I listen to fucking 90s rap and I listen to like G Unit and shit, and they're 19, you know.
That's
like,
the thing.
I mean, Diplomats, like.
It went super pop, man. Like, it went super pop. And like, I understand why it happens, right? Like, it happened to rock, it happened to fucking jazz, it happened to every fucking genre you can think of.
Yeah.
Like, they find their formula on how to make money off of it, and they stick to that fucking formula, and they don't fucking bend.
Yeah.
And so you end up having like a bunch of shit that sounds the same.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's what makes money, because that's repetitive shit. And they've got it down to a science now, what chords to use, you know, what time signature to use, you know what I'm saying? It's like crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, and then, you know, it sounds like a bunch of robots are singing and rapping at you.
Yeah, some people, especially where I'm from, they like to use the auto-tune in the craziest way. It's like they set it off key and they just start going. I'm like, this sounds crazy, man. Like,
I think that's played out at this point. Like, I think
no, it is.
we're coming
those
to
are
the
a dime
end
a
of
dozen.
that. Yeah,
those guys are a dime a dozen. There's a couple artists that I love their music when they do that, because the way they do it is really well. But I mean, you can go to SoundCloud or Spotify. It's a million dudes trying to do that same fucking.
but that's like what we were talking about earlier, where you're like just chasing this fucking. You trying to be that dude, but that dude's already done that, man.
Yeah.
Like, he is being him,
and they're over
you're
it.
trying to be him. Like, why don't you just try to be you and see what happens, man?
Yeah,
like,
start something.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what hip-hop is. Like, that's what hip-hop is. It's like, we got this fucking culture and this history and all this shit, and it's available to anybody who wants to fucking buy a computer and a microphone, right?
Yeah.
Like,
give it a shot.
do it, dude. Like, that's what people say, like, oh, you're boom bap or you're 90s hip-hop, you know?
Rappity rap.
Okay, like, maybe, but, like, really what it is like, when I make hip-hop, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's just your style.
Yeah.
And there's people that still do that. A lot of people who still do that.
And I think people at this point are kind of like starving for like that old like dope beats, fucking real lyrics, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, what the fuck do I know? I love it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like...
No, I agree with you. I really feel like from what I've heard and when talking to people, especially over here, like, people are trying. They like even if it's thug shit, they're still trying to like be witty and like give you some good bars. I think people are really getting sick of these dudes singing about their perk addiction and like how they're gonna kill you and stuff and like sing about it. It's like, no, bro, like relax, you
or
know.
their broken heart.
Yeah, and it's like when you try to check those people, like, oh, it's just music or whatever. I'm like, it is just music, but come on, man, like you're not. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing at that point?
That's the thing. I mean, people see through bullshit, and authenticity will take you a very, very long way, man. So like, that's, you know. But I did the same shit, man. When I was young, I was trying to sound like somebody else, you know, and it takes a while for you to find your voice and realize that, you know, hopefully at some point you realize you don't give a fuck, dude, what anybody thinks. Like, if you don't like my shit, there's like a billion other fucking rappers. Go listen to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, but if you're down with my shit, fucking climb on board. I'm the coolest motherfucker you ever meet, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being a dick to nobody, man.
No.
If you're not down with me, cool, man. Go fucking listen to somebody else. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I don't need anybody's approval, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing this regardless of if anyone's paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm still be in my room making beats and fucking making raps, you know? Like, so I don't give a fuck. And that puts me in like this awesome position, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I really don't
free,
give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it frees me up. And I do what I want. I say what the fuck I want. I put out my own albums. I do my own marketing. I do everything by myself because I don't fucking have to answer to anybody when it comes to this shit. Like, you're fucking getting authentic, fucking real shit. And like, that's how I want to keep it. Like, I've been blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah. And you've worked hard at it too.
Yeah. Well,
on top of the blessing, right?
Most definitely.
So, for my millions and billions of fans, can you please drop all your socials so we know where to find you? Obviously, it'll, you know, link in description and all that stuff, but where can we find Greybeard, man? All
right, so, you know, I'm streaming everywhere on Spotify. I'm not the heavy metal band from Norway.
It's only the rap. It's only the rap.
I got a website, greybeardhiphop.com. Hit that up. I fuck with Instagram mostly, so if you follow me on Instagram, you're good. It's Greybeard_Denver on Instagram.
Here we go.
And I'm on Facebook too, but basically Facebook is my Instagram because Facebook is shitty.
Yeah,
so is Twitter. Oh, I'm on YouTube too.
There you go.
I think it's Greybeard Denver as well.
Yeah,
I don't know. But,
I think so.
But yeah, I mean, check it out, man. I got some good shit. That's all like quality shit. Like, it's nothing that I'm embarrassed about that I put out, man. I put out all quality shit and I make sure that it's good, man. So go peep it.
Yeah, so make sure you go Google, search Greybeard if you need some real hip hop in your life. He can definitely supply that, right?
No doubt.
And so once again, who was my special guest today?
Greybeard, baby.
Fucking Greybeard.
All day.
All day. All right. Perfect.
Peace.